Hello everybody. I am going to do something here, and I wish I would have grabbed more of this. But what this is, charcoal from the Jack Daniel's Distillery. I asked the lady who gave us the tour if I could take a few pieces to bring home and try to draw with. And I'm going to see how well it draws. They're super lightweight. And this is the picture of Mr. Jack Daniels. So, I'm set up and ready to go. The question is this stuff going to just crumble in my hands as soon as I try to work with it? Or will I be able to do a drawing here? So, let's see. Oh, it takes a little finesse for sure. But since we just did our video of the Jack Daniel's tour, I figured, okay, I better get this out and do a little drawing with it. It's definitely not like normal charcoal. This is the charcoal that they use to filter the whiskey. I should have a glass of whiskey next to me, but I'm not much of a whiskey drinker. Jordan's the whiskey drinker. At least it's not crumbling. I was expecting it to crumble. This takes a little bit more concentration when I'm actually trying to draw the likeness of someone. It's actually ripping the paper a little bit. Can you see this fuzz that's coming off? So we got to see the whole tour, how they make this charcoal. They actually are very picky about what wood they use for the charcoal that will filter the whiskey. Mr. Daniels was a stickler for everything being just right, which is why Jack Daniel's whiskey is considered one of the best whiskeys, or if not the best, according to some people. The tour was really quite interesting. We got to learn a little bit about the man, the myth, the legend, a little. We did what they call the Angels Share tour, which you get a tasting afterwards. So we got to taste some of the whiskey after we walked around and saw how it's all made. So on the tour, when we got to the charcoal production area and the gal walked around with some of the charcoal and said we could touch it and stuff, she said, does anyone have any questions? And I said, yeah, can I take some of that charcoal home and do a drawing? So here we are, finally. It's been a long time coming. This may not have been the best paper to combine with the Jack Daniel's charcoal, but here we are. I guess tonight's message could be, don't be afraid to try something new. I have drawn with charcoal with both hands before, but never with the charcoal that's not artist charcoal. It takes a little different technique than what you normally see me do. It's really awkward to hold here, and some of it works better than other parts. If I was afraid to try new things, I would never have discovered that I could even draw with both hands at the same time. Love to hear about something new that you have been wanting to try or have tried recently. How did that work out for you? This might just be the practice run tonight. I might do another one. Kind of like what I did with the Joe Rogan drawing that I did, where the first one kind of looked like him, but not so much, and so I drew him again. I really just wanted to see if this charcoal would work. Seems to be working for the most part. There we are for the attempt one. This does make it harder to see where I'm drawing as well. I can't even see what my left hand is currently doing because of the charcoal blocking my view. So I don't know where I'm making the mark. A little bit of a challenge. But what fun is it if we don't challenge ourselves? We're often too afraid to try something new, and so we just never know. And we get to the end of our days and we're like, I wonder what would have happened if I would have tried. I refuse to be that person. It's kind of awkward to work with because it's not filed down. Jordan volunteered to whittle it into a point for me, but I don't know that it will stand up to whittling. This left one's not cooperating. Just not good because my left hand has a hard time as it is. If this is the first time you're seeing me do this with both hands at the same time, I typically work with ink when I'm doing this. I paint with acrylics, so using this charcoal is much more challenging. Not only because it's messier, it's not as messy as store-bought charcoal, so that's nice. It stays in the paper a little bit better, but it is not store-bought charcoal, so it's a little bit more difficult to get it to make marks. But I couldn't resist the challenge. As soon as she showed me that charcoal on that Angel's Share tour, I was like, ooh, I need to take some of that home with me. Try to draw. It's actually really smooth on this paper. I definitely don't have my 10,000 hours of using my brain like this. They say that it takes 10,000 hours before you master something. This is definitely one that will need that amount of time. So it turns out that frustration or anger was the end of Mr. Jack Daniels. The story is that he was trying to get the safe that was in the office open, and he couldn't get it to open, and he ended up kicking said safe, which broke his toe. And that broken toe became infected. And that was eventually, that infection was the end of Mr. Jack Daniels. So don't lose your temper. Don't kick things. So feel free to add questions, comments to the chat, and I will get to those later. I do like working with charcoal because it's a little bit easier to get lighter shades just by smudging with my finger. No pre-drawing, pre-sketch on this one. You don't want pencil under charcoal anyway. They don't blend together well. Here we are. And I think he turned out pretty good this time. So I'll grab that first one that I drew for the live the other night so you can see the difference. The reason I wanted to draw it again, the paper in my regular sketchbook just shredded with this charcoal. So I thought, okay, I'll try again. Jack Daniels with charcoal straight from the Jack Daniels Distillery. I think he turned out pretty good. What do you guys think? I'm going to call him finished. Talk to you all again soon.